Welcome to Career Homemakers, where we aim to make our homemaking career goal-oriented, creative, and satisfying. Today's episode is a homemaker tricks of the trade episode. Effective methods or skills used by experienced homemakers that make one more proficient in their homemaking career. Let's get started. Today's episode is a walkthrough freezer episode. We are going to clean out the freezer together. So go ahead and get your earbuds on and we can do this together. Get a trash bag and some soap and either washcloth or sponge. Let's get started. All right, the freezer is more for storage because you can keep food here for longer. It's not necessarily our everyday food, unless you like frozen meals or need frozen meals, but it's for ingredients and for frozen pizza and ice cream and really important things like that. So these things, ice cream usually rotates out quickly, but a freezer left to itself can grow into a place that no one can find anything. So make it easier for yourself and your family and go through your freezer every 3 to 6 months. If you're just going through the freezer food, then you can keep your freezer on. But if you want to do a very thorough cleaning, go ahead and turn the freezer off. Take everything out and place it on the counter or table. Toss anything your family doesn't like. And if you don't remember when you bought it, toss it. Go through the meat and see if there is any freezer burn and toss if needed. Go through the smaller bags of things and put them into kind of condensed things. Like I had mini bags of berries and they were all like almost all done. So I went ahead and got a freezer bag and I poured everything into one bag. So kind of condense things if you can. And then think ahead. Remember, this is high-end real estate in your home. Probably the highest because you're paying for the refrigerator and freezing of this space. So be mindful of what you store inside there. If it's in there, it has to deserve to be there. So if your family doesn't like it anymore, feel free to toss it. If it's been there too long, throw it away. You want this to be a working space. So I'm going to give you food storage for the freezer amounts of time that things should be in there. Okay, first of all, we need to get the temperature right. It needs to be 0 degrees Fahrenheit or below, or 18 degrees Celsius. All right, so now our food categories and how long they should be in the freezer, how long you can keep them. So hot dogs, bacon, and lunch meat, 1 to 2 months. Ground meats, 3 to 4 months. So ground meats, I mean sausage, ground beef, ground chicken, ground turkey, those types of things, 3 to 4 months. Now chops and steaks and roasts, there you can keep them in there for longer, 4 to 12 months. The holiday ham, 1 to 2 months. Chicken, 9 months to a year. Fish, 2 to 8 months. Now, the fatty fish like salmon and tuna is less long, so it's more on the 2 to 3 months end of the spectrum. And then the lean fish are for the longer, for 8 months. Shellfish, 2 to 4 months. Cooked meat or poultry, 2 to 6 months. Soups, stews, and leftovers, 2 to 3 months. So next, we organize your food into groups, place them on the different shelves or spaces in your freezer. I have a side to side still, but you can create different sections in your top bottom freezer as well. Put raw meat in one place, cooked meats in another, box or bagged prepared foods in another section, mainly because the kids can grab it and make foods if need be. Ice cream gets its own prime location. It's the star of the freezer, so put it where it can be grabbed easily. Then frozen fruit and veggies get their own space as well. Every once in a while, it's good to take the ice maker out and toss all the ice. Even if you don't use the ice much, you may have company and that would want ice, and this is an easy way to have good cubes to serve to your company. When I removed our ice bin, I noticed that it was cracked, so I ordered a new one. Being a career homemaker means you manage the home, so ordering new parts when one is cracked or broken is the part of the responsibility of the homemaker. So don't wait for someone else to do this. You may be waiting for a long time. This is a homemaker's workspace, and no one will care more about appliances running at being at their top performance than you do. So go ahead and do that. It's easy. Just hop online, get the part number, look up your refrigerator and freezer, or even the dishwasher or toaster oven or whatever it is, and order this replacement parts. You will be so glad that you did. Once you have everything back in, go ahead and put your thermometer back in and keep the freezer closed for about half an hour to hour, and then check it again and make sure that it's getting down to the correct temperature, which was 0 degrees Fahrenheit and 18 degrees Celsius. And then while you're looking at the temperature, just look and see how nice it is to have a freezer that everything is in its place. You can find things easier, and you know that the food that is in there is good and it is ready for your family. And that's a really good feeling. Listen often to stay encouraged, for you are not alone in your homemaking career. I'm your host, Kim Griffin. Please hit the subscribe button and come check out my website at careerhomemakers.com. Thanks for listening, and have a goal-oriented, creative, and satisfying week.